Big thanks to Isaiah Jones for this copy of this figure. And a reminder to everyone, there's a channel Discord linked in the text below. It's Velocitron Speedia Cosmos. So of all of the figures in the Velocitron subline, this has been the one marked out by most people as the must-have. And I get why. This is not only the rare one, because the way Hasbro did the case assortments was stupid, but this is also the only unique mold, which is an absolute crime. The only unique one is the only one that's impossible to get. As a result, this guy really seems like he's getting reviewed quite highly. And before I say any more, people get mad at me often because they think that me pointing out flaws with the figure is me saying that the figure is terrible. Seems like they're under the impression that all my reviews are negative when I think that most of my reviews are actually me being positive. So I want to state unequivocally right here at the start, this is a fine figure. But the people calling this one of the best ones out there are either lying or they're easily impressed because this thing is only okay. It is far from bad. But it's not great by any stretch of the imagination. Really, it's kind of brutally average. The kind of average where it winds up being a minor negative. The look is pretty good, pretty on point for our portly boy, though it's definitely not fat enough. And he's got way too much leg going on here. His legs have always been very apparent, but he was a stocky little shit before. Here, he's got gams for days. And they are a whole lot less chunky than this big chungus used to have. Seriously, if any character from the Transformers ever embodied that meme, it was this lonely, lonely man's. I can almost see an upgrade kit company coming out with a smaller set of thighs. Hopefully a set that can get more of a knee bend than this. If we ignore the legs for a second though, this is for the most part pretty great. Though mine does have a paint mishap on the top of his head. This color either came from some other figure or these dots on his chest. It won't be a problem for like 99.999% of people who get this, but it still bums me the hell out. Back on the topic of how good this thing looks, yeah, this is really pretty extremely on point for Cosmos. His arms are perhaps a bit too long, but they're mostly in the right proportions. The chest is a bit sleeker than the animation model, but it's as close as they could get without messing up the alt mode, because he did somehow balloon up when he transformed. The backpack shouldn't be there at all, but it's pretty ignorable. They would have had to have found a way to put this inside of his torso, and they flat out admitted that this figure was an afterthought because they had excess budget at the end of the subline, so I can see why they didn't do that. The feet are a little too big, and that wouldn't bug me because, come on, this is pretty close to what we should expect to see. But there was a really easy solution to this problem that's already part of the figure, and it would have solved another issue. This guy has decent heels, but I've still found him to fall over more than just once or twice. And since the heels are formed out of the sides of his feet, all they had to do to kill two birds with one stone is to have more of the sides of the feet become the heels. Seriously, just move this hinge deeper into his foot. It would make his feet skinnier, and it would extend the heels by a couple millimeters. It's not awful the way it is, I'm just saying that I found a really easy way to make this better. Also, another way to make this slightly better, or at least more accurate, would be to color the dots on his inner elbows bright yellow. How's he supposed to punch as hard as he used to without his power pimples? If I have a serious complaint about the design of this whole thing, it's that this back panel is held on only by hope. Like this, and it's locked into place, but I'm sure that during the transformation, this thing is going to come off like 3 times. And there is some remarkable hollowness in his arms, as well as an unsightly bit in the backs of his legs. He has all the sculpted detail you should expect to see, and the chest gets a nice complicated coat of paint, plus the head is top-notch. This is definitely one of the best heads a Cosmos figure has ever gotten. Its only real competition is the Legends figure, who had a cool visor, or I guess technically third-party figures. But this is far more accurate to our dumpy boy from the show. I honestly don't have a lot to say about it. It's almost perfectly accurate to his G1 appearance, and looks decently cool despite the fact that the character really isn't supposed to be. I mean, no shade on Cosmos, but he's definitely the dork of G1. So what's he doing with a head this mysterious and scary? So in the looks department, he's pretty good. Got a backpack he really shouldn't, and some gaps, plus an overly lang set of legs, but still, this is absolutely one of the most accurate Cosmos figures of all time, even when looking at third party. And more than accurate, the figure just looks good. The accessory is both nothing amazing and absolutely something amazing. It's a gun that's also a flag, where the flag, I guess, is also a super weird magazine. It would have been really cool if they sculpted the flag like it was a large set of chained rounds for his gun, and then just painted over that with flag details. You can separate the two, but I'm not sure what the flag is even for now. So yeah, I really like this accessory. Sometimes all I want is something fun and not something cool. And I mean, what else should Cosmos come with? He's already got Hot Rod style fist blasters. Posability is really where this figure starts to trip downhill. It's not bad at it, it's just horrifically average. Head has a little more down and side to side than normal, and this is probably his best joint. Because of the shape of his arms, the shoulders look really weird when you get them all the way out to the side, but they pull like 2 to 3 degrees more than a 90. You can kind of fake a backwards butterfly though. 90-degree elbows. I was wrong about the wrist having rotation, so it's just Narcissa wrists. Legs kick forward 90, out to the side 90, and back surprisingly a tiny amount more than a 90. Normal 90 knees, and ankles that tilt barely at all, and then you can fake a really loose toe down by untransforming it. Yeah, the posability on this really kind of sucks. Sure, we basically consider 90-degree bending joints to be the average, but most figures have a mix of average or better joints, and anything this is doing better than 90 is so barely better that I'd say it's really no difference. The best thing he's got is a fake backwards butterfly. Otherwise, despite the good quality of the joints, the posing on this guy really feels lifeless and unfun. The knees seriously could have been double jointed, damn it. And the transformation kind of bites. It's not awful, but it's incredibly unsatisfying. And did Cosmos' arms need to be so hollow when the fists only take up this much space? It's weird that pushing the back in locks it so that way you can't flip the head all the way in or all the way out. It doesn't stop it altogether, it just makes it so that way halfway through it gets stuck. I do hate that this is faux forming too. I wish the head just popped straight up and down. It would have caused fewer issues and been way more satisfying that way. While going through the transformation to write the script for this video, as I predicted, the butt panel popped off 3 times exactly, so we'll see if that happens on camera. And the end result is a Cosmos brand flying saucer. That's pretty good. It's got weird gaps in the front that really seem like they shouldn't be there. They'd be so easy to mold away, and then it's got these yellow side bits that really should have been painted green on top. But otherwise, this is easily the most accurate alt mode Cosmos has ever gotten. If you prefer the old Legends alt mode, I totally get why. This was always an awkward design. It can't roll, and it doesn't look very fast, so it's really weird to have this in the racing subline. Honestly, this has some space Volkswagen Beetle vibes. Like, if Bumblebee already didn't have a different flying saucer space mode, this feels like what he'd turn into. The last issue I take with this is that the back panel likes to pop down and pop off. So this is probably his mode with the least issues. Outside of a single bad coloration choice, a little bit of a gap, and the rear panel being the rear panel, it's pretty good. And ultimately, this is just an average figure. It looks like the character with a very few minor issues, it has a pretty fun accessory, but it's got absolutely lifeless posing and a transformation that just does not bring the good times. At least it has a solid alt mode. It's a fine figure, it's just not excelling in any way. You will probably like it if you get it, and you do probably need it because who has a good representation of Cosmos? But if you listen to every other reviewer, this figure is like the second coming of Christ, and it's just okay. So set your expectations accordingly. And now it's time for the monthly shoutouts. If you'd like a shoutout yourself, please follow the instructions on screen right now. And I'm going to do something now that I've been planning to do for a while. To be clear, none of what I'm about to say applies to you if you just want me to wish you well. I'll do that no matter what. But if you want to shout out to your channel or social media and you don't follow the directions on your screens right now, I'm not going to go searching for any of the stuff I asked for. Every time I do one of these, people just don't send the link, or they don't summarize the content to me, or they don't send a screenshot, and I have to go searching for it. And every time that happens, it adds an extra 15 minutes to the scripting time minimum per person who doesn't do that. So if you fail to send me something I need to give you a shout out, I will either do the shout out if you didn't send the screenshot, but sent the link without the screenshot, or if you didn't send me the link, I just won't do the shout out, and I'll message you that I need the link to do it, but I only check the email once a month. So if that happens, your shout out will be delayed until the next one. I don't want to be harsh like this, but it's a lot of extra work when I have to track down the info to do these shoutouts. And I've asked over and over again for people to just follow the directions on their screen, but every time there are people who don't send the stuff I need. So I gotta put my foot down now. But now it's time for the shoutouts. The Dude with the MacBook would like you to check out the Undertale music they make, as well as their Reddit page. I've never played Undertale, so I have literally no idea what good Undertale music is. Give them a listen so that way you can tell me if that's the primo Undertale shit. I checked out one of their memes and it seems directly based on my channel. Full Tilt is making Transformers stop motions on YouTube. Check them out. Mixed Traffic Productions has an eclectic channel, and they even described it to me and everything, so you know it's crazy. They do stop motions, recreations of Thomas the Tank Engine episodes. By the way, Bullet Train rocked. Go watch it. And they stream sometimes. They are trying to hit 500 subscribers by 2023, so let's help them out. Sangheli Jesus wants you to check out their Twitter so that way you can help them vote on a Minecraft skin. I have no idea what that means. Binkle wants you to check out their stop motions. They do more than just Transformers with them, like Lego and King Kong. Really, whatever suits their fancy. They also have an Instagram where they post toy photography. The mad lad, Cohen Kendrick, wants me to shout out the school district in the T area of South Dakota. You go, school district, you make that tea. The Dalian Arts did a new fan art for the 2-year anniversary of the channel, this time of the prototype perspective from the 100 and 200 videos. Thanks for the awesome art, dude, it rocks. Erickson Bro-ductions wants you to check out their Godzilla stop motions. Usually in these videos, I ask if there's ever going to be a video where I don't have a stop motion animator in it. This time, it's, will anyone in this video not be one of those? Sussy Baka wants you to know that Scorn is the best Dinobot and Grimlock sucks. You've sealed your fate, Sussy Baka. Caleb Sir Phillips doesn't seem to want anything, so I'll just say thanks for being here, Caleb. Hilariously, I didn't realize this would be the next channel shoutout, but Nexile the Renegade specifically said, I definitely totally don't do stop motions. And indeed, they don't. They draw dragons on YouTube, an actually unique gimmick for one of my followers. Awesome. All hail Megatronus Prime collects Lego and does stop motions. This shoutout section is actual madness. You can watch all of their videos in literally under 30 seconds. Maraj 101 has made a Twitter account to generate hype for the Rise of the Beasts movie, just called, Is the Rise of the Beasts trailer out yet? Check them out if you want to feed into the hype train. Of course I know you have a Zazzle Store Cooking Collective. I shouted it out in the last video. Anyways, Cooking Collective wants you to follow him absolutely everywhere, from Twitter to Game Jolt. Megaphil wants you to check out this inspirational video about the Rainmakers he made. And man, I want to make Transformers movies too. Whether you gotta do that with or without Hasbro, you gotta do it. And that attitude will carry you a long way. Keep going for your dreams, my guy. Joao wants a shoutout? Joao gets a shoutout. It's not a very wordy shoutout, but it gets the job done. And that's not half what I have to say, but it's enough what I have to say. And I know, you know, what everyone else tells you to do at the end of these videos. So, if you liked what you saw here, please do that. And if you'd like to take it a step further, then please, share this video with any friend you think may be interested. I hope you all enjoyed listening to me waste your time.